All praise, man. I hope that you all are blessed and having a blessed day. This is a video that I've been wanting to make for a while, but I'll be quick with it. These came in the mail. My Iaito. This is a woman or feminine energy. She has a name. This is the masculine energy. He also has a name. I believe in naming my swords. I believe that they are the culmination of my masculine and feminine principle. And these things should be made manifest. You should be able to see yourself. Like when you look into the water, you should be able to see yourself, like in James, where they talk about looking and seeing your reflection. I want to thank my family, right? A reflection. I am a reflection of my family. All of my brothers who have helped me out. They're everybody, all of them, actually every single brother, really, all of you all. I don't want to say all of the names because we'll be here forever, but every single brother, to include Cardi, Taharka, Devin, Kayan, right? To include my sister. Shout out to my sister Shayla, my big sister Shayla, who continues to be a source of support and strength. Siobhan too, my big sister, who and I love my sisters, Chris, Sahiri, Grace, Donovan, right? My aunties, Auntie Nita, Auntie Cynthia, Auntie Kathy, Auntie Kenya, right? My cousin Syeda, my Uncle Reggie, my Uncle Nate, Jermaine, like all of my family. At some point on this journey, y'all have encouraged me, rather it be consciously or unconsciously. Mama Ayana, my auntie Akinke, auntie Asoke, auntie Abana. Like me and my three aunties have a group chat. I haven't posted it in a minute, but we have a group chat. My Uncle Ramasu, see what he doing with the martial arts. I don't often say it, but I see what he does with the martial arts, and it encourages me to train, right? A little known story: when I lived in Hawaii, my grandfather ended up calling me, and I told him I wanted to practice a martial art and I wanted to do kung fu, and he encouraged me after my father passed away to pursue martial arts. So that's when I got into Southern Shaolin and Ji Young martial arts in Hawaii. But the sword, so much can be said about the Iaito that I've discovered within my own personal philosophy. It's almost difficult to summarize it into words. My sensei said that Iaito is a very poetic art, right? It flows. There's something about it to me that represents everything that a man should be. And the era where samurai existed, where they were able to walk around, they had to carry themselves in a certain way. If your sword even bumped another sword, like another saya, that was cause for fighting to the death. I think that that's very indicative of today's society. If we are reckless in the way that we carry ourselves, we bump into other people, and more often than not, that leads to violence. The Iaito has taught me that every situation cannot be solved with power. As my sensei would say, no power. You're using too much power, come out. You're using too much power. So I had to learn how to manage myself. I had to learn how to think and be at peace and flow. As Bruce Lee would say, be like water, but I say be like all of the elements. Sometimes you need to be unmovable like the mountain. Sometimes you need to be elusive like the air. Sometimes you need to flow like water. And sometimes you need to bring that heat like fire. But you need to know which element to operate in, right? Iaito has shown me that when we are doing certain cuts, our foundation has to be strong, but our upper body, for the most part, has to be loose, with the exception of the tendon. The arms have to be able to flow. You don't want to be so tight that you gripping the sword to death, as my sensei again would say, choking the frog. Iaito has taught me much about myself. It has taught me to reflect daily. And even when I'm not using the sword, as Miyamoto says, to have the sword as the guiding principle, to be the sword. My family has shown me that, and dealing with them, that many situations we think we can handle on our own, but more often than not, we need each other. Rather it be in some seasons, my brothers gave me financial support because my funds were lacking while I was trying to navigate this existence. or maybe it was emotional support, or maybe it was just the AI, I'm just checking on you. All of those things for me, even my aunties. Sometimes they like my post, sometimes they comment on my post. I've been giving my aunt a hard time about learning how to lock my hair up. But in truth, it's just because I want to see my aunt lock my hair up. Like I don't have no deep meaning behind that. Auntie, if you can't lock me up, then I'm just not gonna get locked up. I don't know what to say. I'm not budging on it. But we are a representation of our family, and our family is a representation of the sword. We have to carry our family name with honor, with pride, and to not be boastful about things, to not be arrogant, to be a samurai in the fullest sense of the word, to be unmoved when things get difficult, but to flow and navigate when things are difficult, to be out of the way sometimes, like the air, and to, when you in your season, stand 10 toes on what you believe and bring fire to it, right? So, to my family, thank you. Y'all have been a great source of strength for me, right? All of you are. And I'm not going to forget my mother or my stepfather either, right? I'm not going to call him by his first name. I think that's disrespectful. I think I told him that, like, you've raised me as your son, so to call you by your first name is a sign of disrespect. And I won't, I can't disrespect you, right? These swords mean a lot to me, man. Not because of the material, but because the spirit that they represent. Because it'll come a point where I won't have these and I'll get new ones. But I will feel the same way, that it is a representation of me. How I use it is a representation of me. How I operate is a representation of me. And not just me, but a mirror of my family, of my sisters, of my brothers, of my aunties, of my uncles, of my mother, of my father, of the Creator that I serve. It is a representation of that. And if I claim to be a person who practices this art, then I must live it. I must embody it. I must breathe it. I must eat it. I must speak it. I must walk it. My stepfather said this to me a while ago. He said that you can talk all of the spiritual stuff you want to talk, but nobody's going to listen to you if you don't do it. So I'm doing it. And that was an interesting conversation, because he was 100% right, and I think he thought I was like upset, but no, I needed that, to be reminded that it's hypocritical to talk about something and not do it. But once you do it, they'll know you are doing it and you won't have to talk about it. Anyway, I love you all, my biological family and my extended family. And I hope that you all find your swords in life, the thing that gives you fulfillment, peace, and enjoyment, and allows you to perfectly represent your family with honor, with dignity, with pride, with humility, with charity, with kindness. God bless y'all. Peace.